Alright, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Why the Frack Do They Matter?
I thought you were going to introduce yourself. Or am I supposed to say I'm Twinkletail?
There you go. And I'm Lucio.
I don't want to be Twinkletail.
But
it was cute for like
right,
a week.
Fine.
Can I be HRH? Can you just call me HRH? His or Her Royal Highness. Fine. Twinkletail it is. Anyway.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Why the Frack Do They Matter? I'm Lucio, and I'm joined here by His Royal Highness. Yes.
I like that.
There you go.
You can just call me George, though.
All right, George, though.
All right. How are you doing today, Mr. Lucio?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm alive.
Did you work today?
Well, no, I did not. I did some cleaning, and I'm working on my backlog of video games. I'm almost done with I Am Setsuna. I'm on the last dungeon. Delicious.
You're doing laundry, too.
Yes.
So lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I need clothes for tomorrow.
I think I have clothes for tomorrow. Guess we'll find out when I get ready in the morning.
Other than that, nothing else is happening. How was your day?
It was long, but it was good. We seem to like to record after I've worked like 10 hours a day.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, but we had a new person finally start this week, so hopefully she learns her shit quickly and I can do less work.
Yay!
They're gonna cut off our overtime. So I'm gonna be forced to take weekends off now.
Of course. All right, my friend.
Stolen it from you. Guess yours is better.
I know. You got to do the anime girl laugh. Ready?
But I'm more with the anime evil laugh.
Yeah, but do the girl laugh for me. Just.
I don't know.
All right. Here you go.
I'd rather play the villain. I'll let you play the
Oh, but you have to do it like Emerald from Sailor Moon. Exactly.
Yeah, no. Or Naga from Slayers, which is the same way. Can't do that. Anyway. Well, let's get the sillies out now, because today's topic is kind of serious. So.
I know. I don't know if I'm ready to traumatize people.
Well, I think they've listened to us enough to be traumatized, so I think we're going to talk about things that are more helpful than hurtful in this one. So,
alrighty. So what are we talking about today?
I don't know if we really have a title for it yet. Excuse me. We had talked about calling it something with image, but that's not really the case. I think it's more dealing with maybe social anxieties, physical anxieties, depression, things like that. So we're going to talk about its effects on the people of the LGBT community.
Alrighty.
So we'll give you some personal stories. We'll give you some facts that we found on the interwebs. Yeah, and let's hope that we're not traumatized by the end of this and we have to, record an episode of us just doing giggle laughs for half an hour.
We'll just record us watching a Disney movie.
That traumatized. I lost my virginity to a Disney movie, so that doesn't really count. That was traumatizing.
Alrighty.
Oh, I bought my bougie water.
I know.
It's good. It's just water.
In a box.
Yeah. It's better for the environment.
Okay. I like how you weren't strong enough to open it.
Anyway.
All right. Do you wanna kick it off?
Sure. So one of the things I want to talk about, because it's one of the many things I've dealt with in my life, eating disorders and its effects on people in our community and what can be some causing factors of it. Image, when we have to be realistic, image is a big thing in the gay community. We have these people that we're supposed to look like. You know, you got the famous little line that's a little played out, but the no fats, no femmes, no Asians type of thing.
I'm all of those.
I like all of those. But, you know, it's like, and I subscribe to these, like, Instagram, like, the worst of Grindr or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Some
And
of
so
those are horrible.
They're awful. They're like white and thin and fit and UB2, and it's not racist. It's just
It's
a
a
preference.
preference.
No bitch, no bitch.
No.
It's racist. If you're picking on someone or you're not liking someone simply because they're black or white or Hispanic or fat or thin, it's racist. It's sexist. It's neurotic.
I'm like, because if you truly like someone and truly find them attractive, you're going to find something that you like about them, regardless of height, size, color. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And you're going to like them for them, not because they have abs or because they're a size 28.
Well, and that's true, but and I think with a lot of the kids that are coming out now, that's their introduction into being into the gay, at least with gay men, you know. There are a lot of men that I know, including myself, that suffered from forms of anorexia, forms of bulimia.
You know, I thought about it, but I love food too much. I wouldn't be able to do that.
It wasn't difficult. Because you still get to enjoy the food, sometimes twice.
Yeah, but no, that's horrible. So, like, my first thought of, like, doing anything like that is I met somebody off of, I don't know, Gay App Magoo. And he wanted to do, like, a pick up and drive around and hang out, go get coffee or whatever. So, excuse me.
The fetishists out there.
So he comes and he picks me up, get into the car, and this is when I was a lot thinner than I am now, but I've always been a husky boy. So we get in the car, and then he decides not to take me anywhere in public. He's like, why don't we just drive around for a while? So we didn't go get coffee, we didn't go get food, we didn't get nothing. So we drove around, it was awkward, kind of silence, like talking like, oh, how are you? Oh, fine, blah, blah, blah. And then he dropped me off, and I was like, all right, whatever. Wasn't expecting anything. And then I get a text message like 5 minutes later. He's like, yeah, I really feel like we didn't click. And I was like, yeah, I felt that when I got into your car and you didn't want to take me anywhere in public. So it's cool. Thanks.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever gone through that. So for me, my eating disorder started with family versus instead of, you know, with him being gay or whatever. My sister's older brother, who has no familial claim to me, no one knows who his father is. But my dad
like the random lady you speak of every now and then. Okay, continue.
Anyway, my father's not his father, whatever. He's useless and I hope he dies soon. But, so I was a husky kid growing up because I liked food and my parents didn't know how to tell me no. So I ate and everyone thought it was cute, and so I got thick and chunky. I wasn't like obese, but I was a heavy kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so this adult man would take it upon himself to call me things like piggy and just insult me and make all these grunting noises. It gave me a complex to the point where when I was a teenager and the hormones started going in and the imaging started happening, yeah, I would throw up my food.
Oof.
And I did that until I was about 22.
You were so lucky that did not, like, destroy your esophagus.
No, but it fucked up my teeth. I have no enamel on my teeth.
Oof.
That's why a lot of them broke. But I was real thin as an adult. I think I was 19. I weighed 120 pounds. And I still thought I was fat.
Oof.
And I couldn't tell you what honestly broke that. Because even after I stopped vomiting, I still had bad eating habits to where, this was when Red Bull was kind of big. I would eat lettuce to have protein or something in my stomach, and I would drink Red Bulls and water. And that's what I would drink throughout the day. Sometimes I'd have breakfast. And that kept me thin until I was about 24, and then maybe 25. And then I'm in bed, and, you know, then my eating habits changed to a completely different thing. I'm one of those that doesn't eat or I overeat. So even now I'm still dealing with eating issues, because now I eat my feelings, and that's why I gained all this weight.
Same.
But I got pills now, so that keeps me thinner. I have noticed it has curbed my appetite a little bit.
Oh, well, that's good.
Hopefully. But yeah, so mine came from being teased as a kid, which happens to a lot of people. And like with you, being made to feel ugly because you don't fit an ideal. Fuck them bitches.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, on that note, I have some statistics here.
Oh, good.
And this is actually from cdc.gov. And of course, it hasn't been updated since 2015. But these are just little statistics about the LGBT students. 10% were threatened or injured with a weapon on school property. 34% were bullied on school property. 28% were bullied electronically. 23% of LGBT students who had dated or went out with someone during the 12 months before the survey had experienced sexual dating violence in the prior year. 18% had experienced physical dating violence, and another 18% of students had been forced to have sexual intercourse at some point in their lives.
Jesus.
Yeah, that just kind of... We go through a lot.
And just listening to that, I'm like, well, God, I think I fit most of all of that. And I don't think I've really ever told people about it, so...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't bullied too bad.
That's probably the one thing I wasn't. But the rest of it, especially like the sexual violence. And
Yeah,
things like
yeah, the sexual violence and the sex at some point in their lives. Yeah, been there, done that. Surprised I'm not more broken than I am.
that. Well, we all go through our little phases of, depression and regression and anger, especially if it comes back to us.
Very, very true. Now, me, it wasn't with the eating disorders. Mine was more of the self-harm. I used to cut.
Yeah, I've got scarring too, so
Yeah.
I understand.
I learned how to do it where it wouldn't leave scars.
I mean,
Very much. I
Yeah.
still have like some along my arms. A lot of them I used to do on my palms or the top of my hands. And then you remember those weird little like glove things where the fingers... Your
Yeah.
fingers would stick out, but it would cover the top of your hand. Yeah.
The cutoff gloves.
Or shirts that used to do that. They used to go over and they had a little thumb hole for you. I used to wear those so nobody could see. And then one time my dad found or saw my hand, and it was just, I guess, at this time I don't know, I was really upset or really sad or something, and I had just went to town on the top of my hand, and there were just cuts all over it. It looked like a cat had just went to town on my hand, and I just like put it up in front of its paw and just let it go. And he did nothing to figure out why or tell me that it's bad to do or help me or anything. He's like, "You're fucking stupid. What the fuck are you doing? That's stupid. Like, I don't ever want to see this again." And I was like, okay, you'll never see it again. I'll find a new place to do it.
That's why they're on my thighs. Because I got the same thing from my parents when
Yeah.
I found out.
Instead of trying to help, which I guess at the time he couldn't even help himself. God, I feel like I bring this up a lot. My mom had passed, so he was in his own little depression and his own little thing, drunken stupor all the damn time. So he wasn't really around to watch me or anything, so I had to figure everything out on my own while I was living at home with him. Well, and still.
Well, yeah, we end up parenting our parents at some point. But now, we have parents that listen to us. Is there anything you want to tell them, since that's something as a kid telling the parents now?
Really be there for your child. Figure out what's going on. I'm not saying be their best friend, because you still have to be a parent, but show concern for your child. Like, it might just be something that you feel is so simple, but it could be destroying your child on the inside. Whether it's somebody called them fat, somebody pushed them, somebody said they didn't like the color of their eyes, whatever it is, be there for your child, support your child, help your child get through this. Because if not, luckily enough, I was strong enough to not go any further than that. But there's a lot of children who take their lives. And there's a lot of children who are no longer with us because their parents didn't know what to do and didn't want to take the time to find the resources to help their children, to figure out what they can do. I'm going to cry.
Shall we move on to something else?
Yeah, but before we go there, I have some facts about suicide from the Trevor Project.
Okay. Good source, the Trevor Project. We do love the Trevor Project.
Yes, we do. I'll only hit on a couple. I don't want to depress anybody anymore. But suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people ages 10 to 24. LGB youth seriously contemplate suicide at almost 3 times the rate of heterosexual youth. LGBT youth are almost 5 times as likely to have attempted suicide compared to homosexual youth. Of all the suicide attempts made by youth, LGBT youth suicide attempts are almost 5 times as likely to require medical treatment than those of heterosexual youth. Suicide attempts by LGBT youth and questioning youth are 4 to 6 times more likely to result in injury, poisoning, or overdose that requires treatment from a doctor or nurse compared to their straight peers. In a national study, 40% of transgender adults reported having made a suicide attempt. 92 of these individuals reported having attempted suicide before the age of 25. LGBT youth who come from highly rejecting families are 8.4 times as likely to have attempted suicide as LGBT peers who reported no or low levels of family rejection. 1 out of 6 students nationwide, grades 9 to 12, seriously consider suicide in the past year. And each episode of LGBT victimization, such as physical or verbal harassment or abuse, increases the likelihood of self-harming behavior by 2.5 times on average. And I'm going to apologize now because I know I said a lot.
It's okay.
And I know we're trying to get away from that, but I'm also trying to hold it together.
Well, these facts are necessary. I have a story that actually just happened last week. And I'm going to omit a lot of information just because I don't want to give information about the person that this is about. But I know a young person that attempted suicide on Friday. They took a lot of medication that was an antidepressant. I don't know the logistics of how much they took and if it was truly a lethal dose, but the fact it was still a cry for help. And luckily they're okay and they survived it and they're doing what they can, but I often wonder what goes through, because it's the same type of situation that I was in at that age when I did the same thing. And what I got was, that's just not something you do. It's stupid. Yeah. You're stupid. Get over it.
Yeah.
And so I'm afraid that that's what's happening to this person. And, luckily I'm that close to her. She just turned 15. Mm-hmm. So again, she is part of our community as well. Right. Something that's just not being recognized by the people in her life. And so it does hit home a lot. I'm probably less of an emotional person, so it didn't
Right.
I was more like, okay, what's the facts? Is she all right? And whatever. And her mom, she's with her mother now for a little bit. And so, but it's a real thing, and you never really think about it until somebody, that young, that's close to you, that attempts or succeeds in suicide. And it's really something that you need to talk to your kids about.
Yeah. I had a friend in middle school that took his life. His parents did not pay attention to him. They expected too much from him, and they showed favor to the younger son rather than him. And unfortunately, he took his life, and it took everything in my will at the funeral when I was there to pay respect to not yell at his parents, because they were like, I don't understand what happened, what went wrong. And I was like, inside, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean you don't know what went wrong? What do you mean you don't know why this happened? And they could just be that stupid, and they didn't realize they were being so hard on my friend. But you have to at least somehow in the back of your mind realize what you were doing. To me, it doesn't seem like somebody could do that without knowing. But then again, I'm not them. I don't know. So
that actually reminds me. I was paying attention to. I'm sorry, I was just looking up a story that I wanted to refer to.
No, you're fine.
The story of Leila Alcorn. Do you know who that is?
No.
So she was a transgendered girl. She took her life.
Oh.
Her parents were very religious. You know,
I've said it a million times. Religion is useless.
so I mean, there's all that, but in the end, the parents believed what they believed and all of that, and it's not to say that they didn't love their son. They just couldn't see their son as their daughter. Sometimes, and you not yelling at the parents, I think was a good idea, because I know it's the first to blame the parents, and really they should be paying attention, but at the same time, we have to understand those parents just lost their kid too.
Right.
And, you know, they're already going through that internal pain. Mm-hmm. And I know that at one point they had received death threats and things like that, and I was like, that's something you don't do to it. They don't kill them, but they may not have saved them, but they didn't kill them. And they also have to mourn the loss of their child. So I think that's suicide is just so encompassing. Mm-hmm. And it's just a rippling effect, and it affects so many people. And I think instead of attacking people, that's when the education needs to come in. Mm-hmm. Prayers for Bobby. Do you remember that Lifetime movie?
I do.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yes.
How she the mother in that turned completely around from her beliefs and became an LGBT activist. Yes. It's unfortunate that you have to lose somebody, but then same thing with, and this isn't suicide, it's murder, Matthew Shepard's mother.
Yes.
And so, you know, we have our support that comes out of tragedy, but we need to avoid the tragedy whenever possible.
Exactly. We need more of the support. Less of the tragedy. Through what I have been through and through everything, I find myself on a higher alert for the people around me.
You're just smart.
I notice when people are off. I notice when people don't seem themselves. So I subconsciously look out for it. And it's really weird because I know I don't mean to, but I do. Which is a good thing. A gentleman I used to work with came into our store, and he was just amazing. He bright-eyed, bushy-tailed every day, and I noticed just, you know, every day he'd get a little more down and down and down, and that's when I stepped in, and I was like, okay, I'm automatically going to say hello and good morning to this person every morning. I'm going to make sure that he knows, you know, he's at a good place. I'm someone he can talk to. I'm going to show him that I'm that friendly face. So every morning I would, hey, good morning. How are you? How was your day? How was your weekend? You know, what you got going on? What do you got planned? And as I was doing this, I noticed some other people were like, that's the weird guy. Why are you talking to the weird guy? And I'm like, okay, first of all, I am 30, however old I am. I get to choose who I talk to. Second of all, I'm an adult. I get to make a judgment on somebody based off if I know them or not. Not because they look weird or they look, you know, they have a stupid haircut or whatever it is. Like, everybody was like, oh, he shaved his head. KKK? And I'm like, no. What if he's just hot? What if that's his summer haircut? Like, no, you can't just dismiss that. And so I started doing that, and then just one day he was gone. And it freaked me out. I ran around everywhere, and I talked to like everybody I could talk to, and I was like, yo, I need a number. I need a number from someone. It's probably none of my business, but I have a feeling, and I need to reach out. I finally found somebody who had, I guess, exchanged numbers with him for a ride, and he tried to create a friendship, and this other person was like, no, and shut it down. Luckily, they kept the number. I was able to get in touch with him, and I still keep in touch with him.
That's good.
And important. Yes, and through our conversations, he's actually told me, like, thank you for being somebody who I can talk to and being there when that place was not a good place for me. And I was like, hey, you know, I noticed something was wrong. It may not have been my place to step in, but I wanted to make sure you were okay. And that's what I did. And I talked to him like 2 days ago, which is fantastic.
It's good to, I mean, you saved a life. You really could have just saved a life right there.
I may have, which is wonderful. And again, I'm just always on high alert for those things, especially after I went through everything. And I've shared some stories with him, and I've even told him, I was like, I'm gonna be 100% with you, dude. I'm like, I've gone through a lot of bad stuff. It may not have been what you've gone through, but I'm here. I'm an ear. Even if you just want to rant and rave for a half an hour and you just want me to listen, I'm gonna listen to you. I was like, if you don't want me to say anything back, I'm not gonna say anything back. You let me know. And we have a great friendship now. So.
And that's good. And support systems are what is important. I mean, I'm sure I know you and I, because we've gone through what we've gone through, have our own support systems and way to cope.
Yeah.
So.
Video games!
Sometimes it's eating.
Yeah.
But there's other ways. There's good coping mechanisms and there's bad coping mechanisms. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Bring it to a happy place.
Well, then we can talk about some things that are a bit more positive with this kind of thing. I mean, we're talking about the negative aspects, but we can talk about the support systems and how to be a good support system, what we've experienced as having good support systems. Growing up, I really just kept to myself, especially as a teenager. I didn't have a lot. I had, and I hate to say it now because I know they're listening, but I didn't really have any real friends because I didn't trust anybody. I really didn't trust anybody. I didn't trust my family. I just left it all alone. So my coping mechanism was, it's funny, but it was Japanese pop music because the internet I had at home was like the dial-up.
Yeah.
So it would take me like hours, and I would just get lost hours just searching for like 4 songs. And so that was how I coped, and that's how I got into anime and stuff like that, and that's what became my coping mechanism. Oh, and up until I started trusting people. And even now I don't really trust a lot of people. So
this is sad. I have a lot of acquaintances. I have very few friends.
It's not necessarily sad. I mean, there's no ratios to how many friends you should have.
True, but I don't let people into my life unless I know they're going to be something substantial to my life.
See, yours is deep. Mine is just I don't have the energy anymore to devote to friendships.
They've got to make an impact on me somehow. They have to be worthy of my time because I've wasted so much of my life on friends, quote unquote, and people who were just using me or wanted something from me. And I don't have time for that anymore. I'm old.
We're not that old because I'm older than you, and I don't feel that old. But I get what you mean. Yeah. I do get what you mean.
Mm-hmm. My support system, actually, let's talk about her again. Jones Girl.
Okay, good.
She was an amazing friend. She is an amazing friend for me.
We'll need to have her on the show.
She would love that. She is just in love with us, and I love it.
Okay. Well, I have a friend that wants to do it too, so I think that's going to be a good segue into it.
There we go. Because she sent a thing the other day. She's like, I think you guys should have guests. Hint, hint. And I was like, oh, that's the plan.
I got that too.
We got that planned.
So, okay. So it's coming.
Yeah, but like in high school, I've known her since kindergarten. And in middle school, high school is when we really started closing in that friendship. And in high school, we were always together. We used to ditch to her mom's house. And her mom always had fucking those little pizza pockets and other little things for us to eat when we came over. I went to prom with her. She used to, I think I've mentioned this before, Lance Bass. I used to have the biggest crush on him. Oh, yeah. I think we did talk about this one. Lance Bass and Joey Fat One.
Yeah.
But Lance was first. And she used to like get those Tiger Beats or whatever, those little like...
magazines? Those
yes.
pop magazines?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she used to cut out the Lance ones and like slyly give them to me, so I had like a whole little folder of Lance pictures.
Were they sticky?
No, they were not sticky.
Well, I don't know. I used to get international mail, and at one point I couldn't even open the pages anymore. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, but she was my support system. One of my favorite things, stories about the Jones Girl is we went to a movie one time. And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, she unleashes a burp for the gods. It was just like... And she looks at me, and she just has this, like... I don't want to say terrified look, but, like, maybe a little bit embarrassed. And I was like... Excuse me.
You saved her.
I did. But in all actuality, she probably saved me. And then, Nadine too. Nadine was a big part of my life. She was also a outlet. She was my other friend. We used to go to the mall all the time. And
I enjoy her.
And music. Punk music. She introduced me to punk music. Bad Religion.
It's not punk, but...
Punkish.
Punkish. Misfits is punk.
But yeah, she introduced me to some of that, and we used to sit in her room and just listen to music for hours. And drive around and listen to music for hours. It was fantastic.
I liked Nadine. I liked her a lot.
Me too.
We don't talk about each other, right?
Becca, Jones. She'll get it. Inside joke. Sorry, guys.
It just sounded like something from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, a little bit.
Side note,
Yeah.
Did you see American Horror Stories next season?
1984?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so going to be good.
I hope so.
I am a sucker for anything 80s. So
There's a movie I want to rent, or actually I want to buy because it's only like $8. It's called The Summer of '84. And it's about these kids trying to catch a killer. Looks really good.
Have you seen The Final Girl? Or Final Girls, I think, something like that.
Sounds familiar?
It has that Famisa Tia.
I don't know.
It's a fantastic movie. Like it's like because she plays the final girl in the film. You know who yeah. And
Right.
I'm not going to give it away because you really need to watch it, but I might have a copy of it somewhere.
Ooh.
So I liked Final Girl.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I guess you're kind of my friend. Do I rely on you for anything?
I think I rely on you more. But yes, you're a friend. You've been there
Okay, we don't have to get too touchy.
through thick and thin.
No.
You helped me move into my apartment with
Oh my
my
God,
broken
that was
leg.
Funny. I think we're important to each other when it's necessary. Otherwise, we're just fun to be with each other. And I think that's important too.
Yeah.
Whenever I need to get away from my house and away from life,
Yeah.
I enjoy hanging out with you because
Exactly.
it's kind of the same life. So.
Even our mundane things of running down to like Smith's or GameStop. Or
Oh yeah, I don't ask
amazing.
anybody else to go with me anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if I just have to run down the street, I'm like, Lucia, what you doing? I don't want to go by myself. Well, I mean, there's a lot we can talk about, but that maybe we haven't really gone through ourselves. Oh, I know a big one. That's not something that we were ever really accustomed to. That's a big thing now. Online harassment. Because honestly, I spent very little time online, as they consider it now, because online now is like all social media.
Mm-hmm.
Online to us is like, I'm going to go look for 17 pages about Sailor Moon and get the same information out of 15
Exactly.
of them. That was online to me. The chatting I used to do was on like AOL or gay.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember any of this, all the chat room would be is someone would say hi, or someone would say one little thing, and then you would wait for a private message to come in. It was always a private message. You were never talking in the chat room.
Rarely, very rarely.
So I don't actually. So we didn't really. I mean, I don't know if you did, but I did not go through any online bullying. Now it's ridiculous. I see some of these comments that people put on people's pages, telling them to kill themselves, calling them all these names. I'm like, how does that?
And it's easy nowadays to be so rude and so angry because they have a computer screen, a keyboard, and a screen name to hide behind.
Anonymity.
Exactly. Like, these are... I guarantee if any of these people were to say this, like, to my face, they'd probably, catch the back of my hand.
Mine too. But they wouldn't have the balls to say
Exactly.
it to your face. And that's usually... But on the flip side of that, a lot of these people are themselves going through the same kind of thing, and I think it's just a vicious cycle. I tease you, so you tease me, so I tease her, and she teases her, and then and then he ends up killing himself.
It's the circle of teasing.
It is. It's a circle of death, basically. And so, not that there's a lot that can be done about it. Unfortunately, it's all about education, but you have to be willing to be educated in order to educate.
True.
So, we can pump you all full of information, folks, but unless you...
and some people are just mean.
Yeah.
Some people just like to be mean.
Like, I know I have a crass personality, but I'm not a mean
No,
person.
you're not mean.
Like, I don't want to hurt anybody. When I do my insulting, it's comedic, and I usually know the person I'm doing it to, and it's a back
Exactly.
and forth.
You know your audience. Like, you can say the weirdest crap to me, I can say the weirdest crap to you, and we all know it's coming from a...
Place of love.
Yeah.
Olive juice. You look so odd drinking out of your Eeyore cup.
Figured Eeyore was appropriate for today.
We shouldn't laugh, but that's I mean, we laugh at everything, so it's fine. So let's kind of sorry, we did take a little break that you didn't hear in there. So let's kind of continue the conversation here. While you were getting your coffee and taking a dump, I was looking up some stuff on conversion therapy.
And peeing yourself?
Why it gotta be about me, huh?
Because you like to make everything about you.
Yeah, you got a good point. And your glasses are fucking.
Because of my hot stuff.
You know, sometimes I'll be sitting, like if my body heats up, my body gets so hot my glasses will fuck up. I'll be sitting there at work typing, and all of a sudden it's just fog. Like I can't see anything.
That's hilarious.
That's how hot I get sometimes.
You're so hot.
I'm so tasty. Anyway, conversion. Do you know what conversion therapy is?
Yeah, it's when they try to convert you from a homosexual to a heterosexual.
Something like that. It's not necessarily just that.
They try to fix you.
Yeah, so it's done with, converting homosexuality to heterosexuality, trying to convince you to deny your gender identity and identify as the gender assigned at birth. Excuse me. And so I never actually went through it. I know there was a threat that was made by my parents. There was there was therapy involved. Like, there was a lot when I came out the first time. Like, I was going to get sent to therapy and these church camps and all this other stuff. And so luckily it's just in New Mexico. I mean, we're a gray state, so it's a good thing and a bad thing. While there are no laws to protect us, this is back then. There are now, of course. Mm-hmm. There were no laws to harm us either. So I couldn't have gone through that without me, signing up for it, because I wasn't mentally ill.
You had to consent to it.
Exactly. But there are those that really do go out there and have conversion therapy and really convince themselves that, they want to have these families and live this heterosexual life, and, then they're out cheating on their wives or cheating on their husbands, lying to their kids,
getting the sickness,
or taking their own lives.
Yep.
And ruining someone else's life.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone ruined theirs.
Yep.
And so I know there's a lot of laws now that, make conversion therapy illegal. It still needs to become a federally recognized thing where it's just illegal countrywide, but let's change the administration soon. Exactly.
I like how lately in all the articles, the people who ran those conversion therapy things are now gay. Mm-hmm. They're coming out,
and that's good. That's important. That's a part of healing, because it's another form of, it's a form of abuse, and it's a form of it's a form of torture, I think. I've never actually met anyone that's gone through it though personally, and so I don't, no one out there take this the wrong way, but I kind of wish I had gone through it just to know what it was about. Obviously, I'm grateful that I didn't, but I've always been curious as to what really goes on behind those doors.
Holier than thou lady I knew, she claimed that one of her pastors or somebody went through this conversion therapy, and now he's married and has 10 million kids, and he's happier than happy could be. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great, but I am happy as I am. I just want to know if he's still straight. But I can't ask, because this lady, when it was made legal for us to get married, I did the Facebook status of, like, if you can't accept this or you're so filled with hate, like, don't follow me, unfriend me, because I don't need you in my life. So she unfriended me.
Good.
Which I'm okay with, because I don't need you in my life.
Get rid of that negativity. It was odd getting married and making that announcement. That was an odd time for me. That was a very odd time for me. Because,
I was so busy.
What do you mean you were busy? Imagine how I felt having to put this wedding together.
And
Ben did help. I don't want it to be thought that Ben didn't help me with the wedding, but I was a bridezilla.
I didn't think you were that bad.
You didn't have to deal with it. Ben did. He gladly took my wrath, so you all didn't have to. That was what that was.
So here's the thing, like, you asked me to be your best man, and I have social issues, so I said no, because I can't. I can't. I love you to death, and I will do anything else besides stand up in a room in front of a room of people for you, because I can't. I would have passed out. I would have farted. I would have pooped myself. I would have died. Something would have happened, and it would have drew attention away from you, and you would have never forgiven me. I don't remember who your best man was.
Mark from California.
Oh, that's right. So he was far away. So I still got to do all those duties anyways
I
going.
still made you do everything with me, so it's not like I could be mad at you. The only thing I didn't really get, and I'm still a little bitter about, and this wasn't because it wasn't your responsibility. So I had a maid of honor that was here in town, and she was supposed to do my whole bachelor party.
I remember.
So she decides to take off to Africa like a month before the wedding. She's like, I just had this opportunity and you had to do it. I was like, fuck you! Don't ever speak to me again a month before my wedding, and now I have to find someone to fill your place. I have to get your fucking dress let in for the person that's going to be in there now, and I have to pay for it all. Mm-hmm. So she cost me another $400, leaving me high and dry.
Wow.
So I had 2 people stand with me.
And that's another reason why I said no, because I know I would have been at some point. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Then I might have killed you. When you start costing me money. Emotionally, I'm fine with people. When you start costing me money, we have a problem.
See, I loved you too much to say yes.
And that's fine. I'll probably tell you yes if you ever ask me about it.
No, because you're going to officiate it.
Oh, yeah. That's probably easier for me, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and I've officiated a few weddings, and they're nerve-wracking. They're absolutely nerve-wracking. I actually had one, actual big wedding once. Mm-hmm. And I had maybe a week to prepare for it. Oh. Luckily, I knew the bride and groom, but it was beautiful. I was nervous.
I'm sure you did wonderful.
It was great, but it was nerve-wracking. I think we got a little off subject.
We did.
That's okay. No, it's fine. I mean, we got to talk about some really darker issues in our life, and I think that a lot of our listeners don't get to hear more of our serious side because we're always such putzes. And that's fine because I like being funny. I think I'm hilarious. My mom thinks I'm cool, so it's great. But I think it was cool that we got to have this conversation and know that we do have some serious aspects to us. And we do care about our community.
We do.
We may not always involve ourselves in a lot of stuff that goes on, but we do care about our community. Mm-hmm. And so I don't like being mushy, so I'm going to stop talking.
I'm just going to add, both of us are very proud of who we are and how we are.
Up the womb, yay! I'm a platinum star, yay.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I've never been around a vagina, not even at birth. They cut me out my mama.
I burst through one. I played with one a little bit later in life. One almost cut me.
You're a homophony is what you are.
Fun.
I used to get called that in high school. Homophony, because I was around females all the time. Not by my choice. They flocked to me. I'd rather have been hung out with the boys, obviously. I'm like, yeah, we can be friends. I'm not going to brush your hair because I don't know how to do it. But I'm going to go talk to that boy over there because he's got muscles. But, yeah, in high school, they used to call me the homophony because I was friends with girls.
Interesting.
And that's something I'd like to talk about another time, too. Not now because we're running out of time, but the types of friendships we have to have. And I think we should do a gay cliche episode. Because there's a lot. And some I fit and some I don't, and there's definitely a lot you don't fit.
Yeah, I was going to say, do I fit any?
There's a couple, especially when you and I get together. Oh. This is why people don't hang out with us. They're pretty embarrassed of us.
That's because they're not allowed in our presence. Our greatness doesn't radiate that far out, so...
Actually, I think it's more like the sun. If you get too close to it, you're going to burn from the radiation.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I'm going to start carrying matches around me. Yes, just so I can start lighting them and throwing them at people. You're too close to the sun!
You're going to do it because you fart all the time, aren't you?
Ooh, yes.
I can't
get in your car.
When we're getting out of my car and I start walking towards wherever the destination is and he's still at my car, I know what he's doing and I just keep going.
I'm sorry, I'm a gassy old man.
That's fine. I'm just happy you closed the door to my car. Because sometimes if the breeze catches the wrong way and I'm walking away, it's still following me. And you eat some right nasty shit sometimes.
Yummy. All right.
Shall we wind this down a little?
Yeah.
Random question time. So we still didn't get any tweets.
But we still have some of Jones Girls questions.
I'm going to let you take one of those. I'm actually going to be a big boy and think of my own question.
Ew.
I'm not going to use my random generator, but you're going to have to go first because my brain's going to have to be used here.
Interesting. Well,
Oh, mine's easy. I got one.
since our cast was a little bit about like the past and childhood yet again, what was your favorite snack from your childhood?
Quesadillas. Quesadillas. And my mom, because my mom used to make them on the placa, and she used to make them with corn tortillas, not flour, and she'd make them with Menonita cheese. Have you ever had that?
Is that the one from like? Is it the yellow and white?
No, that's Munster.
Oh.
It's a completely white cheese. It's pure fat milk fat cheese.
Oh, is it the round one? The big ass round
Yes,
one?
and
Yes.
you can only get it from Mexico or imported. And well, my mouth is watering right now. So Menonita quesadillas was my favorite with some salt in it. And it made me so fat. And I love it. And I think I'm going to go tomorrow and buy some Menonita cheese.
Yay! That question was also brought to us by Jones Girl.
Yeah, Jones Girl. What about you?
She reminded me that we really used to love those gold bars. We used to bring money just for gold bars. Like we'd bring our lunch, or if you had free lunch, you'd get the lunch there. But for breaks, you'd run to the snack bar to get gold bars, the peanut butter and chocolate things.
Yes, with a little bit of the Rice Krispie inside.
Ours never had the Rice Krispie.
And it was an actual gold bar. No, you probably did, but it melts into the thing.
Oh, okay.
So it gives it that harder kind of like.
Oh, the top, the chocolate part, yeah.
Well, no, it's in between like it's. I'll have to buy a gold bar. Every so often at the cafeteria at work, like twice a year, they'll make gold bars.
Interesting.
And they use the old. And I talked to the lady. They use the old APS gold bar recipe.
Ooh, gorgeous.
So those are good. Oh, I completely forgot my question. Don't laugh at me.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Okay, I got one. What's the since we're talking about the children thing. Since we're talking about shit that happened to us when we were young, what was the most embarrassing thing to happen to you in high school?
In high school?
See what happens when I use my brain?
Yeah, I like it because it makes me think. Instead of your normal questions, what color is the sky? Random question generator.
What the fuck? Ass. See, you can't even answer my questions
I think my most embarrassing moment is when I had a group of people in my car and we were trying to make it into school before they closed the gate on us. And I hit the gate. Which hit Santa Claus.
Shit.
Which knocked him backwards. Yeah, nobody let me forget that for a long time.
Now that I know about it, I'm just gonna be like, poor Santa.
Yeah.
Poor Santa.
He was like this Santa Claus looking motherfucker with the fucking van with the Lobo and the lady on the side. And he was our like security guard.
Oh shit, so you hit somebody. I thought it was like a Christmas decoration.
Well, should have let me in.
Oh, damn.
Yay!
Mine had to do with a car too, but mine went dirty.
Gross.
And there were police involved.
And you were fucking Santa Claus.
No, okay, so in high school I had this boyfriend that was older. Like I was like, I think maybe 15 and oh, this is gonna be awful. So I was like 15, maybe 16, and he was like 30?
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing. I mean, it's not a good thing. It was really not a good thing. That's sexual abuse. It is sexual abuse no matter what. But, so my parents live across the street from a post office, and obviously I couldn't take a boy home and, dilly him in my bedroom, so we would park in the post office. And it was dark, and I'm stupid. Like, I'm a fucking teenager. I'm like, oh, we won't get caught. We'll just get all naked and start pumping. And so he's, like, right on top of me. The windows are all fogged up. And, like, we're just about to, like, and all of a sudden you hear on the window. And I'm like, oh, my God. It's like, fucking Dad, I guarantee you. No. A police officer had pulled in, saw movement in the car, and thought someone was getting hurt. So, I mean, we put on our pants and then we open the thing and he's like laughing at us. He's like, just go home. It's like, okay. So that's, again, I was technically in high school, so that's my most embarrassing high school moment. Cop told me not to fuck my boyfriend in at the post office.
This was just out of high school. Can I throw in another story? Because you remember the top of 9 Mile Hill?
Yes.
How it got very, very like rural out there. Nothing's out there. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. Except we were both the same age.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever dated someone in high school that was I did. Well, Ben, I dated Ben in high school originally for 3 weeks. He had just graduated high school, so I was 17, he was 19.
Yeah, but you're Cholo too.
That was the one that I got
Lord.
with. He was a lot older than me. I think he's almost 50 now.
Ooh,
maybe.
Silva Daddy.
No.
All right. And real quick, I'm just going to throw in, if you need help for anything, the Trevor Project does have a number. And we'll post this on social media. But I'm going to go ahead and say that. It is 1-866-488-7386. And on their website, they have a option for text and for chatting as well if you don't want to talk to anybody. But if you're having some issues and you don't have anybody to talk to, there's places you can reach out to. There's people you can go to. There's apps. You can find help. The internet.
And sometimes you can find help for kids too. I mean, there's this PFLAG that you can look into.
Mm-hmm.
Really, any kind of look for local LGBT youth groups. I mean, most every major city has them. Most every state has them. If not, there's always an online resource for something.
Mm-hmm.
Overeaters Anonymous, if you have that kind of a problem, and they also do have material for those. Not necessarily who are overeating, but those that are undereating, anorexia, bulimia. So Overeaters Anonymous is also a good source for information.
Yay. Fine. Fucking end it.